Hey there. So today I had some interesting thoughts because for the first time in a long time I had went to see a movie. And it was a very strange movie called The Bride. But at the end, it ended up being very pertinent to real life. And I tend to think I don't live in the real world because I'm living in a village in India, which is very, very much kind of feeling very often back in time. I work a lot throughout the day for my guru's temple, which are ancient practices, and so you don't feel like you're in the modern world. I do go out on the scooter, which is a modern instrument, and I interact with people, but very much here in this rural area around Mysore, and even in Mysore, the people feel very, what's the right way to say it? Very ancient, like they're living an old lifestyle, even though they have a phone and they're on Instagram and they're doing all this stuff. And so when I saw this movie and I exited and came out into back into the real world, I had this feeling of longing for our normal sort of a life. And then immediately when I had that feeling, I started feeling the opposite way of where I enjoy the traditional ancientness of my life and worshiping in the way we do, which is a very old way to worship God. And I started feeling torn between two things. So um, I went to my friend's cafe and had some food, which got me grounded. And I realized like a month or two ago, a friend of mine who I went to Northeast India with had told me I should make videos about my life, living my life, because I live such a different life than most people and people wouldn't understand it. Now, what does that mean? That means when I get up in the morning, I'm very much often on a schedule. In the morning, I get to have my own schedule, but I'm on a schedule because of living with so many people. We take baths and I need to get in the bath. And I often, if I take too long and get late, I can't get in the bath. And it is a bucket bath, it is not a shower. And I do my own worship in my room. I have an altar in my room and I do my own worship to Kali, to Pratyangara, and to Kamakya every morning, every evening also. So I'm doing my yoga practice, which is not so ancient. The asana practices are not that ancient, but the one I do makes me feel connected to that ancientness. So I get all of these old things, and then I go pick all of the flowers. I pick Dashwala, they're called here. Dashwala is a variation of hibiscus. I have a tattoo of a hibiscus on here, and it's almost the exact same kind, only the I can't think of what it's called now. The middle part is longer on are the ones we have here than in my tattoo. And I didn't realize that when I got this tattoo that I was going to be doing it daily. And I'm talking, I pick thousands of flowers every day. So I walk around for an hour and a half to 2 hours, pulling all the flowers off. And then often I eat breakfast because it's time to eat breakfast. We eat breakfast on the schedule here, not on my schedule. And then I'll go back and I take and pull apart all the flowers because we use the petals in the puja. The petals are the yoni of the flower, where the stamen is the stamen. That's what it's called. The stamen is the lingam. So we're worshiping Devi. We offer the yonis, and the other part gets thrown out. And we use the full flower as decoration in the alankara of the temple of the goddess. But when it comes to worship, it's just the petals that we throw. And that practice has been being, someone has been picking those flowers like this for worship for thousands of years. And someone has been pulling them apart for thousands of years. And someone has been throwing them on the god or goddess for thousands of years, doing mantras in their head. You know, everything that's part of the worship. My own thing is I also have several mantras a day that I chant mentally with the mala, sometimes mentally without the mala if I'm just busy. And, so there's always an ancient mantra going through my head. So then when you get out of this specific location and you go into the city here isn't like a super modern city. There's still a lot of aspects of it that are very old, and the roads are new, and many aspects of it are new. It's still old, but you feel more modern than you do here. It's like levels of modernity. And then I go to a movie theater, which is not the nicest, fanciest movie theater, but you see a movie that was just recently made and just coming out. You feel more in and it had a modern message, even though it was set in the 1930s. It was a modern idea of speaking up for yourself and living the life you want, because you're probably going to die. And in the movie, you of course die. And then there's other aspects of the movie I'm not going to tell. They were already dead, obviously, because The Bride is about the Bride of Frankenstein. It's also a very modern-ish take on Bonnie and Clyde, which is kind of interesting. But if you see it, you'll understand what I mean. And at first I thought, I'm going to walk out of this. I don't really want to see this. But at a point I thought, oh no, I'm going to stay. I'm curious to where this goes. And then at the end, it ended up being it very much touched my heart. And the message spoke to me. So it was very interesting and very peaceful. And then I went I sat eat at my friend's cafe. We had a talk for a while. Mostly I was alone all day. And then I went to a rickshaw driver who I know not terribly well, but fairly well. And he has a Shani temple. Shani is the planet Saturn who delivers your karma. And the temple is really powerful. Well, he kind of goes into another state of being and gives advice, does little fixes for people's problems, little magical fixes, and all kind of interesting things, and gives blessings, general blessings. And it was really a powerful experience because I saw him help a lot of people and make them feel better. It was very interesting. My guru does the same thing, so it was interesting to see a similar thing yet done in a different way than what I was used to. So I enjoyed that. And at the end, when I was leaving, he gave me a blessing, and I drove home, and it was very peaceful and very, very lovely. And we had very good food. So again, it's like when I'm living here, I'm towing myself back and forth between the modern and the ancient world and trying to find the balance there. And I think I found a pretty good balance, but I mostly stay more toward the ancient traditional side. And I think all of this is coming up for me because, in 2 weeks, I'm going to be leaving here, going to an island which has its own kind of traditional rituals, but it has a lot of modern history to it and a modern styling that's more American. It is an American island, but it's in the Caribbean, St. Croix. And helping a friend set up a yoga program, and I'm very excited to do it because I miss teaching and I miss sharing the stuff that people need to help them heal and help them move forward in life and get to a better place. But I'm going to miss it here a lot because that ancientness, I go to Europe a lot, and most people know that, and I teach there. Europe has a little bit more of sort of an ancient history to it. Yet on top of all that is this really extreme modern life. So you don't feel the ancientness there like you do in India. When you're in India, you still feel that ancientness in your day-to-day living. I mean, because I'm driving a scooter up this long road, like 10 kilometers toward the city from where I live out here in the country. And several people are driving cars, several people are driving motorcycles. There are buses, there are everything going on there. And then there's the lady walking her Desi cows down the road, which Desi cows look like aliens to most Western people because they're so different looking than a cow that we're used to. Then there's a lady or a man walking 100 goats down the road, the same road that you're driving on. So you kind of have to wait behind them or sneak around them or honk and move, make the goats move. And you're driving past these trees that have been there for hundreds and thousands of years, and you're driving past a lake, and you're driving past brand new modern houses, which don't look modern to us because they're made so differently than what we're used to seeing. And then you're driving past palm trees, which are intermingled with the other types of trees, and then there's vines everywhere, and there is modern developments that are trying to come up that don't make it, so they're just sitting there kind of off the side of the road where people were hoping to have a new neighborhood that people would move into to get out here and make some money, but also to update the place. It's a strange life I live. I don't lead a life, I live life as it comes to me. I teach when I can yoga, Ashtanga yoga. I teach bandhas and breath to a lot of people to help them heal and to connect to their energy inside their body. I teach tantric approaches to living that do help you live and integrate into the modern world while maintaining some semblance of connection to the old traditions also. And that's what Tantra is really good for. And I have a lot of meals with a lot of friends, and it's kind of navigating the waters very carefully, very stilly, seeing what's there, moving into it, flowing around it, whatever needs to happen, and figuring out how to feel the best you can feel at any moment. And that's really what all this is about. And it's interesting. I just had a lot of interesting thoughts today, and I didn't really touch on it in the way I thought I was going to. It kind of went in a different route, but that's what I got. So, yeah, I'll talk to you soon. Thanks, and have a great night. Ciao.